Hello there. Welcome back to Harley on the Headlines. It's really good to have you here. You know, we can't do it or have any fun doing it without you. So if it's good or useful or just an occasional aha moment, please hit like, follow, subscribe. It does help. The government shutdown is over. President Trump has signed the bill which ends the walkout by Democrats. All they ever needed to do was continue spending money like they did in the last year while they worked out a new federal budget. Refusing to have an extension starts drying up the money, and it hurts people. And hurting people to try to force even more spending when we can't afford what we're already doing before there is a new budget debate, that's just not the way to get things done. It's the far left of the Democrat Party, the tail, that wags the dog, and it has been slow to learn. We'll have to wait and see if the lesson sank in. Speaking of the far left, MSNBC has been cut loose from NBC. The news and commentary channel has been a loser for a long, long time. Its ratings are terrible, and it's a drag on the network. So now it's on its own, which means it needed a new name. The people that ran it are still the same, and they assure their loyal fans that MS Now, that's the new name, will be exactly the same progressive propaganda organ that it has been. Doesn't mean anything except this: it will survive or fail on its own now. Don't put any long money on its chances, at least not based on past performance. Some Native American tribes have become so dependent on government assistance they resorted to killing buffalo for food during the shutdown. On Fort Peck Reservation and others, the days of chasing buffalo on horseback and bringing it down with a couple of well-placed arrows naturally ended long ago. Now a marksman uses a pickup truck, drives up close, and bam, bam, a couple of well-placed rifle rounds takes down another buffalo. The huge animal is field dressed, which is to say, winched up behind a flatbed truck, gutted, skinned, and cut into manageable slabs for processing. 30 buffalo were taken to help feed the Sioux in northern Montana and Blackfeet, Crow, and the lower Brule Sioux and the Cheyenne River Sioux. These tribes depend on SNAP at about 3 times the national average. So the shutdown is over, but some of the damage is done in the skies. Air traffic control slots were reduced by about 6% on the way to higher numbers. They're going to remain at the 6% for a little while because it's going to take a little time to get things back up to speed. It'll mean airliners chock full of passengers. But, and this is something important to hear, it does not mean that flying is less safe than it was. It is true that the airspace system needs some work. Technologically, the FAA needs more and better equipment, the better to take advantage of the possibilities that are available today that were not just a decade ago. The controllers themselves, they do a bang-up job. I talk to them all the time when flying. They are excellent at what they do, every bit as professional as the pilots they work to keep separated. That's their primary job, traffic cop, to direct the thousands of airplanes participating in the system from place to place along invisible corridors in the sky such that they arrive in good order and can get on runways without having to stack up and wait. An expensive proposition. Did you know the election of the socialist Zoran Mamdani as mayor of New York City is already costing the city money? There has already been at least $100 million worth of real estate in Florida alone purchased, attributed to the pell-mell rush to get the heck out of the Big Apple, which seems to be growing worms from within. That's just the beginning of the Florida rush. Keep in mind, people also tend to like Texas and Georgia and the Carolinas and Tennessee. There is no telling how much damage New York City is going to suffer as socialist, unapologetically communist policies are attempted by the new mayor. Bill de Blasio was inept, an embarrassment, and a hot political mess. Mamdani, Mamdani is likely to be a dumpster fire best observed from as much distance as is feasible. The U.S. Mint has squeezed its last penny. It's been 230 years. The mints have been making pennies. Today, they are pretty close to worthless, though when they say that, I'm a little bit puzzled by it. I mean, how, for example, if pennies go away, are you to make change if you need to pay 37 cents or 36 or 38 or 39? Easy to understand why the government's giving up on the penny. Copper is so valuable today and labor costs are so high, it costs 4 cents to make a 1 cent coin. Stopping the presses will save taxpayers $56 million. The last time the U.S. stopped minting a coin was the half penny. That was in 1857. Okay, so here's a question. Since it'll save $56 million, is that money going to be applied to the debt, or will they just spend it someplace else? There are billions of pennies in circulation and in dresser drawers and old coat pockets. At least no one's going to be able to say that America has no sense. I guess we can stop there with today's Harley on the Headlines. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate you, and I hope you got something worthwhile out of these visits. Hit like, follow, subscribe, please. I'm Harley Carnes. My best to you, and we'll see you later.